Hello and a warm welcome back to video 2 in our Starting Solids show. And as you already know, I'm Rachel. Nice to see you all again. So in my first video, I focus mainly on when to start solids, signs of readiness, vitamin D and follow-on milks. In this video, I'll cover some more practical tips on starting solids and I'll talk it through vitamin D again. So parents often ask, is there any particular way that first foods should be offered? So I'm going to go through loads of points here that hopefully you'll find helpful. So first thing is, it doesn't matter if your baby's first taste of food is morning, afternoon or evening. It's much better to pick a time of day that you're relaxed so that you can fully focus on your baby. In terms of volume of food, be guided by your baby's appetite initially, and we refer to that as responsive feeding. Every baby is different. Some babies will take to food really quickly and others will take a wee while longer to get used to it. Initially, it's just about flavours, colours, textures, rather than amount of food. This is just a wee small bowl of some mashed cauliflower I've got here. And again, if your baby eats all of this in the first few days that you're offering food, great. But if your baby takes half of that or a quarter of that, that's also fine. Remember, the first bit is just about the experiences of the touching and the tasting. And also remember, at this point, their usual milk feed is giving them all the nutrients they need. So please don't worry about their nutritional status at this point. So this brings me on to say, the first few times you offer your baby's food, start off with their usual milk feed first, just so that they're not hungry and distressed. As Sandra mentioned in a lentil curry video, start off with a few single ingredient foods just to see your baby's initial reaction. And if you start with less sweet foods, so for instance cauliflower or broccoli, which we've got here, so here's some cauliflower, and this here is some frozen cooked broccoli. So things like broccoli and cauliflower are less sweet, and when your baby is already used to the taste of sweet breast or formula milk, these are good to offer first before you start introducing things like fruit. At the beginning, you might find that your baby will accept some foods more readily than others. This is totally normal and is nothing to worry about. Just don't let this put you off, as it can take sometimes, in some cases, even up to 10 times for a particular food or taste to be accepted. So please don't worry if there's something that your baby appears not to like. Foods which are known to be potential allergens, so that would include eggs, food containing nuts, dairy foods, well-cooked fish and seafood, and wheat containing foods, so for instance bread and pasta, can be included in your baby's diet one at a time when starting solids begins around 6 months. Unless these foods cause a reaction, you should offer them to your baby on a regular basis, which actually helps the baby reducing its chance of developing a food allergy in later life. We recommend that you always sit your baby in a high chair with a bib, as there'll be a lot of mess. In fact, there's going to be loads of mess, and mess is great. Let your baby play with the food so they can experience the texture, the smell, the colour and the taste of all the different things they're getting on offer. And this is just a normal part of their learning process. So just enjoy that as much as you can. Once your baby is used to sitting in that high chair, they will quickly learn to associate the high chair with eating food. And what you'll then find is that they will happily accept the food before their milk feed. But again, there's no time limit on that, so just please don't worry about that. Always supervise your baby when they're eating and never leave them alone with food. When you're feeding your baby, don't put too much on the spoon and just make sure they swallow what's in their mouth. So again, just a small amount on your spoon and don't overload it. It's totally normal for your baby to gag on food, particularly at the start as they get used to moving the food around their mouth, and sometimes later when lumps and bumps are being introduced a wee bit more, so again that's normal. From a choking risk, there are certain foods you would want to be particularly careful with, and examples of those include things like grapes and cherry tomatoes, which I've got here. So these kind of foods need to be quartered. You don't need to take the skins off them, that your baby can still pick up, put into their mouth, chew and swallow safely. Whole nuts shouldn't be given to a child under the age of 5. However, things like chopped nuts, small seeds, like sesame seeds that I've got here, or nut butters, again, which we've got here, are all acceptable to use from around 6 months. If a baby was choking, you'll find they're unable to make a noise, they probably won't cough, and they will start to change colour. For information on how to deal with a choking baby, check out the link to a video by the Red Cross, which you can access via a link at the bottom of this screen. And finally, mealtime should be a sociable event, spending time with your baby and your family. And remember, babies from a really early age learn by copying our behaviours. So where we can, we try and lead by example. So for instance, try and keep distractions to a minimum at the table. So for instance, you might want to put your telly off, you might want to put your phone away. And the copying behaviour also applies to our eating habits. So if your baby sees us having healthy meals ourselves, it's much more likely that they're going to follow that too. My final point is on vitamin D. So vitamin D is the only vitamin supplement that's needed for healthy term babies and children if they're getting a balanced diet. Our Scottish Government recommend that babies are given up to 10 micrograms of vitamin D per day. And within NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, we have got a new vitamin D product. All children aged 3 and under are entitled to free vitamin D drops, as well as all breastfed and mixed fed babies who are having less than 500 ml of formula milk a day. Also, all breastfeeding mums are entitled to free vitamin D tablets. So if you're breastfeeding, you'll receive the first bottle of vitamins on the maternity ward, which contain around a 4-month supply. After that, you just collect them from the pharmacy, you just need to ask at the counter. If you need any more information on this, just please ask your health visitor. So to summarise, be guided by your baby's appetite, particularly at the start. Let your baby experience lots of different flavours, colours and textures. Remember to always supervise your baby with food. And lastly, don't forget about your vitamin D. From a personal point of view, my own 2 children were very different when they were offered solids. My son would have eaten everything that he was offered very quickly, whereas my daughter took a lot longer. And as a parent, sometimes everything is just so worrying when you hear what's right and what should happen. Please don't worry about any of this. As long as your baby is accepting food and you are following the guidelines that we're offering, you will get there. So just try and relax as much as possible and enjoy the whole experience.